That's my evening. That's what I'm planning on doing. This is something I think I've wanted to do for a little bit. I want to test a few chocolate chip cookies that I've been concepting, and it's more of testing, should I melt the butter, should I not melt the butter, how much flour compared to oats should I be adding, because I do want to make chocolate oatmeal cookies, chocolate chip oatmeal cookies. Also, I'm going to be trying some with chopped chocolate and some with chocolate chips, some that are going to be sitting in the fridge for a bit, some that aren't. A lot of random test. Okay. So I have most of my notes here. So what I'm going to do first, I'm doing half of what I think a recipe would do, because if I'm going to be testing 4 different things, I'll probably, yeah, don't want to make full. I would probably do how many? A lot. Also, if you hear any, I doubt you will hear any of the Sekiro noises that Jeff has in the background. You might hear him yell. That's about it. What is it, Kanji? We got Kanji on a slightly lower cam. More closer to the pooch. So many cookies. You're gonna turn the music down a little bit? Me? Thank you. It's from Vesperia. But now it's not even. I wonder if. I might change it. Let me actually change it to just like the actual. Actually, no. I know I'm gonna change it to. Yep. Just to be on. Okay. I'm just good at this. With like the announcement of all the Persona stuff that's happening, it's still pretty loud. Do 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 do. Alright, that doesn't. That should be fine. Hooray! Butter melting. So I want to go for a brown butter, which is hot. Hello, thing. You're blocking everything. Oh, for me, I can't hear anything. Figured I wasn't gonna have, because usually I use the kanji cam if I'm doing stuff back here. But since it's only browning butter ever, it's not much more beyond that. So there wasn't need to swap things around. So like bang things on it. So I'm starting with that first because I want that to cool before I put anything else in with it. I think what else? I have to also keep reminding myself half portions. Because try to grab a bowl. Don't want to make too many cookies. No idea what I'd do with all of them. Yep. It's like bang plates around. Butter. I figured I'd make up for the no camera over there with a slightly closer kanji cam. Slightly closer. So and I want to make sure it's still a cup of butter, because as it does this, it is going to evaporate some, so. Hey, Onitz-chan, how are you? The food is all very far away, so you can't even see it. So we'll all be hungry together. Today I made sure when I got home, I was like, let me make sure I eat before I start this, because then I'm going to be eating a million cookies. Big risk with that. I think either way I'm going to end up eating a million cookies. Because I have very bad self-control when it comes to chocolate and stuff. Sad when I was looking at like the bars of chocolate in the baking section. It was either 66% or 100%. And I was like, oh, I feel like 100% is a very big risk. So I didn't want to risk that. Yeah, my chips are 63%. So no. I have an extremely bad like sweet tooth. I will just munch on not sugar, really more chocolate or any cakes and stuff. Just my worst enemy. So I have to tell myself if I want something, I have to make it. I think it was after the stream Sunday. I was like, Jeff, I just want to make cookies. That's all I want to do. And he's like, but you just streamed a bunch of food. It's like, but I want cookies. So now that's why this is happening. But I'm doing it at the same time with making sure to at least experiment. I put the wrong butter in there. I've had the butter out here sitting out and getting like soft. I'm just gonna put this one away. I meant to grab a cold one. Let me get another butter softening then. Exactly. I have to make it somewhat productive. So I think I'm only going to do one. Think about this. One as a melted butter, but we'll just take butter out. Just have butter sitting around. Uh-oh. Right now, I'm still waiting for that butter to brown some. So while I wait, I'll start preparing my dry ingredients, which when I was researching, typically when I've done my cookies, I've only done regular all-purpose flour, but I saw a suggestion to put some bread flour in to have a slightly higher chewiness to it, because you use bread flour for bread and that tends to be a lot higher in gluten. You don't want to use all bread flour because you don't want it to be bready. So I saw mixing all-purpose in that is a nice little combo. So we'll see. I'll see how that goes too. There's a lot of like, let's see what happens. Let's see if this all works out right. In my head, I'm like, it should be fine. It will be fine. But I am going to change this. I was thinking about, I also read about using some egg yolks instead, but then that makes this difficult to split in half. So I'm just going to make it 2 eggs, so I can split it in half, so 1 egg per attempt. Where is 3/4 cup of each of them? Okay, so we're going to go half and half, which I'll have to make note of any changes between this and see. It's thinking about browning. Maybe. Okay. So, where is my... I think I set everything up and then I'm like, oops, where's this? Where did I put this item? Ended up staying at work a little later than I expected, and then I had to run to the grocery store to grab the stuff because it was kind of a... I think this weekend when I went shopping, it's like, I don't know what I'm going to stream this week. I'll buy it the day of the stream. There was just some minor things I needed for this. But of course, me going, oh, let me make sure I have everything. Okay, so 3. If I can, you know, half my recipes correctly, because that is for 2 recipes right now. I swear. I'm going to be my own worst enemy. Oh. I'll mix these and then split it in half. Oh, actually, just take 3/4 out because it was 2 3/4 cups. Woo! It's going to happen several times, and I'm going to have to, like, catch myself throughout the night of doing this. Oops. So I could bring some to Dallas, yeah. Because I'm going to have a bunch. So, I mean, they're not going to let me bring them in. But I could leave them in the car, maybe. Sneak some cookies in a bag. They'll never know. So there are definitely going to be a lot of cookies here. Whoop. Whoop. There we go. Put this aside. It's definitely been a lot less because that's evaporating more than I expected. That was bread flour. Yeah, I'm not sure how, like, we looked at the website, the Ellen event website, and they were like, yeah, no outside food, like every what do you call it, sporting event place. So they could charge you extra for, ooh, there we go. Extra for their okay food. But I noticed there were a lot of places to eat around there, so there's at least those options. Today, I said, Jeff, which, because I have a Outlaws jersey and I have a Spark jersey. He's like, which jersey should I wear? He's like, I think you'll be more happy wearing the Spark one. I was like, that's probably, that's a fair assessment. I hope at least that match is a nice, like, competitive one, and it's not a a complete disappointment. I could hope, right? Okay, it's starting to brown at the bottom there. I was a little surprised by the Persona announcement today. Persona 5S, because yesterday they announced Persona 5R, which is a enhanced version of Persona 5, just for the PS4. But today they announced Persona 5 S, and it had like a weird name, I can't remember now. But it's a, oh my god, what is it? Now my brain broke. I saw it this morning, and then forgot. Persona 5S. Scramble the Phantom Strikers. Thank you, Volsi. But yeah, it's one of them weird crossovers. A Dynasty Warrior crossover. I've never played a Dynasty Warrior game. I know a lot of people were assuming it was going to be a just a reboot, like a Switch version of Persona 5. No. Yes! Butter's brown. Gonna just pour that here. Push that aside. So yeah, it's definitely lost because it's supposed to be, you want a cup of it? That seems like I lost a lot. I wonder if it needs, no wait. Having the recipe, I only need a half cup. Oh my gosh, this could be so bad. Right, you're a half cup. half cup. I need like a big reminder to be like, Ricky, don't do it! Don't you dare! So, my regular recipe that I have written here is calling for a cup of oatmeal. Sam, if you're still here, do you have a nut allergy? Because I was going to do walnuts in these, but I want to make sure that I don't kill you. Three fourths. Trying to make sure. Yeah. So I only need. Just let me go prep that other one since I've already goofed it. Have my dry ingredients already. Let's just prep two. Let's just prep two. Nice and simple. So then we have a nice production line of cookie testing. I need to put these in containers eventually. And then baking soda. We're only going for the baking soda in this recipe. If we add baking powder, it gives the cookies a bit more of a cakey resemblance than a regular cookie one. I'm trying to go a little more. This is a cookie. 1.5, so I need 3/4 of a teaspoon in each. Okay. There we go. And then each of them are getting a teaspoon of salt, which sounds like a lot, but the oats will absorb a lot of the salt, so it needs that extra bite. Okay, so now I have my dry ingredients. Twice over. Put this one away for the next batch. Letting you yes, nothing undid itself. So while that's cooling, we're gonna start the I do. What's up? I just half the recipe, so I only need half cup of butter. Now that butter, when I got home, when was it? About an hour ago or so. I took it out, had let it sit there. These other ones are rock hard because I oopsed. So hopefully by the time we get this set of cookies done, that'll be a little softer to work with. Now, if the flour ratio works out perfectly, then I'm only making 2 batches of cookies, and I'm like, hooray, everything's great. But we never know. I mean, we might look at it and go, okay, that's fine, but the butter's not working, or I didn't have enough. Okay. One thing I want to make sure with this is that I'm not over mixing things. Because if we over mix the cookie, it'll get tough. Gluten starts forming. You don't want too much gluten forming. Now with chocolate chip cookies, I like to do both a white sugar and a dark brown sugar. Dark brown sugar adds a nice molassesy flavor to things. And I think it enhances the whole experience. So we're gonna go ahead. Sit there. 1 1/4 cup. Half cup and then an eighth. Right. Cut along the dot of. Oh, my favorite song in every Persona game. The one you listen to for hours and hours on end. I'm more curious about, I want news about Shin Megami Tensei 5. It was announced so long ago for the Switch. It was announced and then nothing else came out. So for now, I'm not gonna measure. I will measure when I actually do this recipe. What the hell? Usually don't buy this brand, but they didn't have the brand that I usually pick up there. And I was just like, so then I need half of one of these. Whoop. So much sugar. It's okay. We're treating ourselves. I think I'm most curious about is putting some of them in the fridge and if that's going to make that big of a difference with this. Half a cup, so I only need a fourth cup in here. So I'm going to be taking my butter. It's just kind of boring looking right now. But I have my butter, my brown sugar, and my white sugar. I'm actually going to also add specifically dark brown sugar. Going for that extra bite. The worst. I never like measure. I think it's a tablespoon. I said. So yeah, I'm gonna do a half tablespoon. This is what a lot of my like recipes are, where it's like, in theory, knowing these base facts, this should work. But we'll see. Kind of hoping. The melted butter is something I don't usually do, so I'm a little skeptical. But I know I've read a lot of people really like it and that they really like the flavor it adds to things, to the cookies in general. My biggest concern is every time I've done it that way, the cookies have spread more than I want them to, so I'm thinking that one's going to benefit the most from sitting in the fridge for a bit. So that is just together. So now I'm going to add half of the dry ingredients here. Yeah. And kind of mix it together. And then add the next batch and mostly mix it together. It's weird working in this small of a batch of cookies. So that. Gonna add the remainder of it. And let that just barely come together. Looks a little. Yep, careful. Well, now I'm questioning my decisions. Because this is not coming together like I'd expected. So I think there's too much dry in here. I think. So did these numbers right? Oh. Don't be like me and forget to put your eggs in. Like, something about this is real dry. It's because my eggs were hiding back there. Ooh, we'll see. We'll see how this works. Because now my flour flour's gonna start doing funky things. This is what happens when you don't write instructions to yourself. You assume you know how to bake cookies. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Whoopsies. Okay, now at this point, I just want to hand mix them. Oh, I'm assuming that's going to cause an issue, but we'll see. We will see. Kanji, what happened to your bed? What are you doing? I gave you the nice angle and everything. Okay. So there is that. Now, something I've also seen a lot of people suggest. So I usually use chocolate chips, but I've heard fresh chopping things makes for a ridiculous cookie. Because you get more random, like, chunks of cookie in there. 8 ounces, so 4 ounces. Which this is 4 ounce. One of these containers is 4 ounces. Seems like a lot. A cup? Like, really, Self? Boop, boop. Well, let's chop it up and then kind of like make a decision after that. Get to hear loud chopping noises. That's what the world wanted. Either all of it goes in this one or half of it and half. Yeah, 8 ounces, 4 ounces is half. It's like, make sure I've halved it. This is serious thinking. Cutting. Oof, get a workout. I don't want to melt the chocolate or anything. That'll do some funky stuff, for sure. Now my oven's at the right temperature and everything. Now I gotta start being safe, because we're getting towards the end. Right. It's I'm laughing because you could see how, like, and this is why you do it this way. The start of it is really fine, and then it got real, like, much larger sections. And of course, we're going to be careful, because dark chocolate's no good for doggos. So Kanji will not be getting any of this. Now that I have it cut up, maybe this is a good amount of chocolate. Really, really chocolatey cookies. That'll be an experiment too, right? Yeah. Let's put about half of it in. Maybe the correct number is 6, not 8. We're testing, right? Let's see what happens with the full. Oh no, it's mostly chocolate now. I think we're still fine. I won't put walnuts in. Well, I want to be consistent, probably. some right away. I like walnuts in my cookies. So. Oh, those are cashews. Like, where are my walnuts? Over here. Large amounts. I'm gonna smoosh them a little bit because they're big old chunks. I already know with this one I've overworked the flour and I didn't mean to. So just a 1/4 cup of this. We could actually smoosh it a little more. Smoosh a little more. Smoosh, 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 smoosh. There we go. There we go. Probably could have smushed them more. Yeah, that's fine. It'll be very obvious that there's walnuts in there. Okay, so now I want to take I'm going to put parchment paper down. Don't need to put non-stick spray at that point either with the parchment being down. That's enough typically. Do I have? Oh, it's really chocolatey. Actually, it tastes like cookie dough. Ice cream. Well then. Well then. Do I have or own? Thought I owned an ice cream scoop. Now this is too big. Because I don't want to make like the most giant of cookies. Or do I? Yeah, that's way too big. Things I do not own. Smaller ice cream scoops for better weighing and measuring. What I'll do, eyeball. Could weigh them to at least get this correct weight. What I will do is half of this will go into the oven now, and then another half will go into the fridge. 50 grams. I anticipate this set to kind of spread a bit, but we'll see. I've not typically done cookies that go into the fridge, or I have done cookies. I haven't done my chocolate chip cookies that way. It seems typically like a nicer idea. It does help with the spreading, for sure. I've seen a few recipes that are like, do it for an hour, do it for 24 hours, do it for like a day and a half. I'm like, oh boy, that is a range. So probably 5 cookies, like, I'll do a full set of 6. Just to have something. Because I'm gonna need to try these as they go too. 85 grams, 75 grams. Close enough, 58. There's my first batch. Which that, like I said, that set is going to be going into the oven now. 12 minutes. 12 minutes. 12 to 15. Now, I could put the set that's just in the bowl right now into the fridge, but that would make for slightly rough dough to deal with. So I'm gonna pre-do this. And I might be able to, there's definitely less. Let's see. Just trying to like lightly work it. Just not do too much. Not too much touching. I haven't had a chance to try Joker and Smash. And we have him because Jeff tried it, I think, at one point. There's also the new like world creator thing. Both for kind of like map generation for both Smash and Overwatch. I'm excited to see what people come up with for that one, for the Overwatch stuff. I know with like Nina's custom games and stuff, that'll be a lot of fun. Might give me more of a reason to go back to Overwatch sometime. How much do we have here? 95. There's a little more in here. Can it be 100? Yes! Okay, so technically we're gonna have more. Oh my god, it's perfect. We'll have more of the fridge ones than the other ones. Okay. Wash my hands, and then I'm gonna put that in the fridge uncovered. Yeah. I would imagine if I was gonna be doing it for longer than, say, an hour, but maybe, yeah, try an hour. And then while it's doing that, I will start working on the brown buttered the brown buttered version. Which I have there melted at this point, and oh, looking in the fridge going, huh, where should I put this? I know where. Gotta move this miso out of the way. Just let me tell you, miso is an ingredient that you should definitely have in your fridge. So wonderful. Alright, so I need to take a few seconds and rinse all this again. I was like, oh my god, did I put a timer on? I did. All's well in the world. Don't worry, guys. We've only had one boo-boo so far. Now, the one thing I'll be able to tell at least with this batch is if my ratio of oatmeal to flour is good. If I need to up that number, then I'll start probably... I'll do the melted butter one the exact same way I did this set. But if I decide I need to up the flour, I'll try another non-melted, well, maybe a non-melted butter set. But we will see shortly. Actually, I should check. Is this... Yes, that has cooled decently. So you're going to hear my voice for a little bit because my sink is kind of a mess. So, just need to get this real quick. Restart. And this time, I'll make sure not to, like, overwork my flour. That is going to play a factor in it, too. Maybe I should be using, like, a hand mixer instead, but, I guess these are all notes that I'll be able to take as lessons learned with those cookies. What time? So 7, so around 8 is when that set will be done. in the fridge. I'm hoping that and we'll see how this melted butter one is, because I've seen them a lot of times and they just kind of like sink after they're done cooking. But we'll see. Oh, this will also let me know if my chocolate ratio is good too, because I did go on the higher side. I'm hoping that's fine. Each of those cookies were about 50 grams each. So I have to keep that in mind with the... Let me write that down so I don't forget that. 50 grams cookie size. Oh, Kanji, I swear. Kanji, get on your bed. Come here. Can you go right here? There you go. There you go. Thank you, good boy. Now you can go back to bed. Cool. This box is empty. Put it over here so I can put it there. This is one of those moments with the oven light where I'm like, oh, if only you worked correctly. Don't want you. This is my dry ingredients already set up for this one. This back, this was where my egg was. My head trying to, like, what is all this stuff? Cool. She'll do the same. I'm going to, I'm just going to crack my egg now so I don't make the same mistake I made. Move this to the side. Doop. That's mine. Don't forget, Vicky. That egg right there. Don't you do it. I'm like looking for my mixer and stuff. I'm like, I just washed it. He's so tired. I guess he had a hard day at work today. It was silly because in the afternoon, like after lunch, we'll let him go across the hall to a coworker's room. And I hear at one point, he's just in the middle of the hallway today. And I was like, oh gosh, Kanji, why? Because we don't want him to like get in the way or be a tripping hazard. Now we're in the middle of like kind of a long hallway, so he's pretty hard to miss. But it was just like, Kanji, you have to pick a room. You can't be in one or the other. You can't be in the middle. One room. So gotta grab things. So I make sure I have to get all that browned butter in there. Get that extra goodness. Like the brown bits are at the very bottom. It's pretty good. Let me see. It smells very good. Okay, so sugar. Put this on again. So 1 1/4. I needed a 1/2 cup and then an 1/8 cup. 2 minutes till that first set needs to get popped out. It is starting to smell like cookies, isn't it? They're fine. They're fine. I wonder if I should do a combination of chips. That's another option too. A combination of chips and the cut chocolate. Or maybe save some of the chunks and put it at the top, because you'll see why. Again, making sure half portion. Wonder how... if I did half melted butter and half room... well, I don't know how much of a difference that would make. Yep. It's just... it's funny putting the sugar in because it's just like dissolving into the melted butter. It's like, hello, this is my new home now. So half of this, because it was a half. Put that in. That already has salt and everything. I'm going to put the vanilla extract in. Just a tablespoon. I have my half tablespoon right here. Whoop. Right. I'm going to whip that together to make sure the butter is completely cool, which it is. And then I'll add the egg this time. Gotta scrape down a little bit to make sure. Actually, before I move on to that, the egg and all that, I want to chop the chocolate so I'm not having a moment of like, well, you gotta wait now. Actually, I'm gonna wait for the cookies to see. Start 10 seconds. Done. Shush for a moment, please. Okay, let's pull these out. So they did spread a decent... actually, I think they might need... I think they need... do another minute. Let them go there. Let them think about what they've done. Just want to check. Ah. Once that's out, I want to also then top them with a little bit of salt. And we want that bite of salt. Because I'm using an unsalted butter, so I'm able to control completely my level of saltiness in the recipe. Good enough. No. So my concern is, you kind of see... careful. There's definitely like just chocolate riddled throughout it. Curious about the flour. Here. Whoops. Put them down and they went whoop, immediately. And I'll let those cool for a moment. Whoop. Grab, grab, grab. Whoop. There we go. Where'd my water go? This is not the set. Well, yeah. This is not the set I anticipated. That looks fine. It actually looks fine. So, this one, gonna add that egg in. Gonna let that whip up a little bit. Let's give a little bit of air. I think that amount of chocolate looks correct. I think if I did less, there would not be a lot of chocolate in there. Now I'm curious. So, it's still going to be a very hot cookie. You should let your cookies settle. So I'm going to kind of let it settle. Not really. So I think it needed longer. Looking at that, yeah. Starting strong. And because these are much larger than I usually make them. Yeah. Oh, we let it do that. I never pulled them out, and I pulled that one open. I'm like, it's a little gooier than it should be. Oh, we're experimenting. So if I think 50, that's probably 2 tablespoons. I think I usually make them a tablespoon in size. Yeah. Do slightly larger chunks this time. Chip chop. So that set in there is going to be a mess. So because my oven's at the right temp. Slightly a little chunkier. There. This is a better, yeah, it's a better cut for it. Which makes me wonder. Recipes on my side. I'm trying to think what else. The oatmeal is definitely a factor I usually don't do, so that's gonna cause chocolate chip cookies. Castle. Cause I goofed. Oven, are you at the right temperature? Yes. There we go. This. Mix. It's 10 minutes because I usually do. Tablespoon. Alright, yeah, because I've doubled that size, so. Double that size, and I say it's 12 minutes usually. It probably should have been more like 15 to 17 minutes timer. And I did 12 minutes, so let's up that. That's why they all went. Okay. Yeah. One other way I could cheat is checking the internal temperature of the cookie. check the one that I... $200. Give me 1 second, because I want to check something. So my mic might... Where is that? Ooh. Oh. Moment when you goof that you're like, how bad did I goof? Just trying to double check this. Nope, that's not what I want. Cookie. Just reading some things to make sure I'm not crazy. But that's not going to confirm anything. Okay, yeah, that 15 minutes probably yeah. Because it got taken out and put right back in. Some funk happened. But that's okay. Like, the flavor is good. But it definitely is flatter than I was hoping. While I figure this out, let me start doing this. So I've done everything, but now I'm going to start adding my flour very slowly. Half of it. I'm adding it slowly. I'm going to mix that till it's together. Now this one I'm going to mix until it's barely together. This time around, I'm leaving some, obviously, streaks of the flour in. So I'm going to test that set. See how that settles in. So with the 50-gram ones, I was able to get about 12 cookies, which I'll probably get the same here. I'm trying to... right here. And I also do think, like, because I have the shards of chocolate, it's playing tricks on my mind. And making things seem a little wetter than they are. But that's probably the chocolate that's all melted. I do think that was the correct amount to put in. Okay. I might try a set with a slight, after this set gets going, I try a set that has a slight increase of flour. So I have all my topping ingredients in. Now I'm just gonna mix it in slightly. Just until everything just comes together. Again, don't want to work it too much. Okay, so all that is just put together. See here? It's all there. Gonna grab, that one's no longer hot, so I could at least pull those cookies off. And he's flattened out so much. The room temperature run. Not what I expected. Which makes me think the ones that are resting in the fridge should do slightly better. I didn't put the little extra salt. That's a thing they do. So, again, I'm gonna take my weight and go ahead and measure out 50 grams per cookie. So this dough already is definitely a little wetter, greasier too, compared to the previous one, and that's because of the melted butter. Which I fully anticipate this set to kind of spread. Should be measuring before I. So I'll make sure to keep these decently far away from each other. Yeah, definitely a much greasier dough. I do like the bigger chunks of chocolate. It was probably a good call to switch that up. So this set I will make 6 again. And this 6 will go into the oven right away for, I'm going to do 15 minutes this time, not mess up that timer. Again, larger cookies than I usually make. And have fun cookie, 15 minutes, go. I need to get another baking sheet. I have a smaller one. I'm gonna go ahead and put this. No. More parchment paper. One. The last one made 12, or made 13 cookies. This, I'm wondering if it's even going to make... No, it'll make the 12 at least. That's definitely too much. I've also been a little more closer to the 50 on this one, but yeah. 77. So I barely have like an awkward number. Alright, so this is gonna go back into, not back into, it's gonna go into the fridge for the first time. So what if I try a set that also, I like that idea. I'm gonna take half of the, oh, actually I can't get into my freezer, so I won't. I'm not even gonna pretend to. So I'm gonna put this in. So those are the melted, that's the regular. Try the cookie dough. Actually, it's kind of nice. The flavor that the melted butter adds to it, actually real good. Adding the salt on top made a difference. Let's do that with all of these. It actually kind of like enhanced the flavor, as salt does. I don't have super fancy salt. I just have some kosher salt. Diamond Crystal is the brand I use. Yeah. Flavor is good. Now I am curious. Trying to think. I need to see how this next set turns out before I start another one. So actually by the time this set comes out, I'll probably be able to start the first refrigerated ones. Something I am going to need to do is note what's what. So I think because, yeah, the chocolate was chopped so fine, which is kind of like, the chocolate's kind of everywhere, so it's a little chaotic. Compared to like your normal, oh, there it is. One moment. Compared to like normal chocolate chips. Now, what that is doing is it's giving me a chocolate flavor throughout. Just wanted to. This is room temp. Straight in. Alright. I know a bigger test, again, if I wanted to, is letting some of the ones that are in there for the hour and letting them sit overnight. I might do that. Hey, RPG, how are you? Onichi-chan, thank you so much for the sub. Thank you. I really appreciate it. So does Kanji, as you could see. Ooh. RPG, thank you for the sub too. Thank you so much for using your Twitch Prime sub. Yay. I really appreciate it to both of you so much. Kanji does too. Right, Kanji? Because you guys did that, I'll give Kanji a nice little treat. We had an apple today, so only a little treat. Hold on. Stay right there. Kanji gets treats for subs. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Kanji. Can you believe it? Can you sit? Can you sit? That's one Sabarino. These are small. Now you have to give paw, Conj. You have to work for it a little bit. Give me your paw. Thank you. Can I get the other one? The other one. He wants me to change my hands. Bang. Can you leave it? Tacos, go get it. Go get it. Go get it. Yes, I'm hoping. I'm curious. Like, so the oatmeal isn't standing out. I think I'm going to try one with a higher oatmeal amount. As these are sitting, these are pretty good. And Jeff, feel free to come in here and... Like, I don't know if you want to wait till they're all kind of done so you could try a bunch of them. Or whatever. You could decide how you want to experience your cookies. A good boy. Yes, good boy. Well, RBG, enjoy your movie. I know a lot of people are probably going out to see that tonight. I am the worst at watching movies. I think the last movie I saw in theaters was pretty sure it was Moana. No, I was gonna say I thought it was Moana, but we saw one with work. It was a space one. Where'd my water go? I don't want to cough because Kanji's gonna get spooked. Good. Visual standpoint. Yeah, First Man. That is the one we saw. And that movie also convinced me that I do not want to go to space. It's funny, at work today, actually. I was on site and I was helping. We were kind of testing the HoloLens in the crew quarters, that's where the astronauts would sleep typically in space, because there's a big mock-up of the ISS at JSC. And we're kind of testing the HoloLens in there to see if we could help with a procedure. And it was in that moment I was like, even this is kind of big. This is bigger than I'd expect, but there's no way I'm going to space. There are a lot of space movies. But, Jeff, it was the First Man, right? We could... Yeah, okay, thank you. So it was that, because our now CEO of the company, he used to be NASA's lead trainer, like he trained a bunch of astronauts during the Apollo days and shuttle. So they actually had him go and help with a bunch of like notes. Oh, is this how this would have been trained? Is this how they would actually be situated and stuff like that? Apollo 13 is one that I watched. I did watch a lot growing up. It's kind of wild, like, being involved in space at all. Even though our stuff is mostly, we help with, like, training stuff, but those people have to learn how to do stuff in space, right? Too much space. No, but I can't. See you again. Enjoy your movie. I can't even think of the last superhero movie I watched. It might have been Guardians of the Galaxy. Does that count? Maybe. So much chocolate. I'm gonna take a peek at these. Oh, wait, they didn't spread like I expected. Okay, this is all reversey. Maybe I'm gonna make another batch of the butter. I might do that. Make some more melted butter. Let me wash this stuff real quick. Like another batch of melted butter and maybe increase the amount of oatmeal that's going in there. I'm actually going to look at my oatmeal raisin cookie recipe that I have. Oh, you know what I'm doing? I'm being rude to my cookies. I'm not toasting my nuts. That would be another flavor profile to add in there. That could be pretty nice. I'll make sure to make a note of that. That I know which to improve it in general. I think the last time I made cookies with melted butter, I kind of didn't let the butter cool enough, and I just put it in. And I think that might have caused the sadness. These are looking a lot nicer than I remember the one time me doing it and me going, well, these just look sad. Why would you do that? Now this one I'm going to have to like quickly note what I think should be the change after I look at my oatmeal raisin cookie recipe. Haven't made that one in a very long time, so I need to make sure I get numbers more geared towards that. Because the oatmeal is in there, but it's not standing out enough. And again, in a chocolate chip cookie, you want the chocolate to stand out, right? Oh, thanks for the compliment about Kanji, and I'm sorry to hear about your dad. Yeah, so if you go, Yones12, if you go below, I have a website called Pixelated Provisions. There's a lot of recipes there. A lot of cookie recipes and a lot of different recipes. They're all recipes from video games. Okay, so go ahead and melt more butter. Melt more butter! Boop. Got that in. And that is doing its thing. Look real quick at my recipe for oatmeal raisin cookies. Okay, that's about the same. That has a little more sugar, but we don't want to do that. Not going to do almond extract because I don't think it needs it. So yeah, that definitely, well, 2 3/4. Yeah, it definitely has the filthiest thing. Ooh, oof. Think about that one, because I'm sure there have been many a times. This. Let me check these real quick. That should be good. Uh-oh, Senpai did not like that. Senpai is watching out for me. Senpai, since you're here, happy birthday the other day. I know I already told you that. Hope your birthday week's been good. Let's see. Okay, that's melting. This is, I'm gonna let these cool. So that's about About an hour. So let me clean this stuff up again. And then yeah, we'll do one more set to test with an increased amount of oats. There's going to be a lot of cookies. A lot of random cookies. I can't think of anything. I mean, I'm sure I've dropped something. And just put it right back where it belongs. But I would not serve that to someone. It would only be done to myself. Alright, so I don't need to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna mix my dry ingredients while that's doing its thing. I should be washing my dishes, but we're not going to. We'll do that after. Write notes on this one. So this one I'm going to, because this is going to be a complete guess. All right, let's see. 1 cup of, we're going to keep that the same. We're going to keep that the same. We're going to have that, and we're going to have that amount, but let's 2 cups. We're technically under that. So let's do these. And then let's do, they're huge. I oopsed them. That's why the first set that I made, they were a little under. Because they're bigger than I usually make them. Yeah, look at this. They're like this big. They're huge cookies. See, this set is too. They're just as big. They're actually pretty crunchy. Like, pretty crunchy. I don't think I have. And I think the bot, remember the bot's going to be, Jeff, these aren't bananas. I have not put any bananas into these cookies. Another plate. Let me get another plate. Let me mark this one. So I'm like getting everything all sweet. Oh, Sam, since you're back, you don't have an allergy, a nut allergy, right? Oops. Oh, you call that a meme? That's science. This was melted butter, oven, straight to oven. That's what this next set is. I'm like distracting myself, so. Let me put a little bit of salt. Oh, really? With the the internet is in a constant state of turning things into memes. So some of these, it's interesting to see how they all kind of spread differently. Some of these are like much flatter, and then this one. So this is the melted butter one, and then this is the room temperature one. They're both the ones that went straight into the oven from being mixed. You hate it? But you hate the internet? You can't hate the internet. We all live in it. Non-stop. But then we wouldn't have met all these wonderful people, Jeff. And played all these wonderful video games. Yeah. Probably should look at my butter real quick. Okay, we're almost there. It's starting to brown. 8 o'clock. Okay. So I'm going to put my next set of... Actually, you know what I'm going to do with this set? I think I'm going to... No, we're just going to increase numbers. Alright, so this is the room temperature buttered cookies. So they've hardened. So it's a good thing that I scooped them. So they're all hardened, and we're just going to pop them in. Boop. We're going to do the 15 minutes again, because that definitely did a nice cook for these. Just because they are bigger cookies. I'm gonna... So yeah, because we're doing the, like, chunks of chocolate chip, it's just chocolate all throughout it. Just everywhere. Kind of like what that melted butter is doing to it. It's all about the letting it cool. Tiff's Treats. I don't know. Let's look. Hello, Internet. Can you give me information? Tiff's Treats. There are 3 in Houston. Have I had... I'm trying to think. I know I've had... This is actually very good. But, you know, with Houston, it's of course on the complete opposite side of town. So... Ooh, girl. I'll let this brown a little longer. For some reason, I want to say we might have had cookies from them in Austin at one point. Started making notes about the next one. So that's good. I don't want to overcook it and then my butter be sadness. Whoop. I'm gonna get the spatula. Where are you? There you are. Okay. So, just to get all the goodness out of the pan this time. We want all that delicious. Cool. So I'm gonna let this... I'm actually gonna do... I think I'm gonna put it in the fridge right now so it cools a little quicker. Maria, thank you so much for the host. Everybody, please do follow 2 Girls, 1 Game. She is another cooking streamer. I really love her content and you should check her out. She's a very, very fun streamer to watch. She was playing Just Dance today. I've never played a Just Dance game. I've done DDR. That's about it, but Just Dance... I've never done. She also plays TF2, Overwatch. I'm excited because I actually just ordered a metal DDR pad. It should be coming here at some point this summer. That was I deserved it. I did good work. Oh my god, no, these are Jeff, you could just try from these two. That melted butter makes a huge difference. Take a half. They're really big cookies. I know. You could have this half.
Is that this one?
Yeah. Probably should take a plate with you. There's salt on both of them. You can come here and just make faces and be like, this is good, this is bad. Thank you. No, yeah, they're huge. So yeah, I'll probably be taking some to Dallas with me for sure. Watching Jeff try them right now. Those also got goofed. These had a goof. But I feel like even without the goof, there's a flavor difference for sure. They're a lot better, right? I wonder if with this... Let me think. I want to test with this butter. Crinkle, 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 crinkle. Cool. Okay, I'm going to wash this bowls, and then I'm going to up... Oh, that's... Jeff, I had a question. Do you taste the oatmeal? Like, does it feel like an oatmeal cookie, or does it just feel like... Okay, so I'm going to up the oatmeal then. Huh? Oh, the first ones have it more? Interesting. All right, I'm going to up that oatmeal count. Rinsing my stuff. Make sure it's all clean and good. Cool. Lemon juice and a chocolate chip. Ooh. Ooh. That does sound good. I could see the lemon really giving it a different twist for sure. Because I've done like chocolate raspberry cookies, chocolate chip raspberry cookies. Oh. Lemon, I like that. Did it just have lemon juice or both lemon juice and lemon zest in it? That sounds interesting. So yeah, lemon juice is not something I would think to typically throw into like a chocolate chip cookie. But I can see that working real nicely. All right, so I'm trying to think. Is the bread flour making a difference too? There's some recipes I look at and I go, what is this person intending out of this? Why would you do that? And then it's wonderful. Or sometimes it's like, no, that should not have been done that way. But that's how you learn. That's how you learn what works, what doesn't work. Here's my flour. That is what makes cooking wonderful. Because you could be like, nah, not this. Not this time. Actually, I'm gonna put more bread flour in. I'm just gonna double that. Yeah, let's double that. Cool. See what this does. So I am going to put a cup of oats. This is half. So I've done. Last time I only put half cup in. So now I'm going to put the cup just to kind of see if adding that much more will make it feel more like an oatmeal cookie. It should. So 3/4. I hate having that. This is my 3/4 measure, so let's kind of. This is why I should be weighing things out, but looks at scale. That's fine. Yep, those are the Red Mill. Where are they? The Red Mill old-fashioned rolled oats. There's a really nice recipe that's from one of Alton Brown's books, but it's basically overnight oatmeal. So you put a bunch of stuff in a container, and then with oatmeal, and it's really good. It's nice as long as I don't. There were several days that I was like, I wake up the next morning and I go, oh, I didn't make breakfast last night. Dang it. But it's a pretty easy recipe because it's just kind of like, there's no cooking. It's just put it all in there and then let it sit overnight. And it does what it needs to. Are they? I haven't done like a blind like taste test and tried each one separately. So I couldn't tell you. Wait, my brain's like, what did you just do, Vicky? Half of 3/4. Okay. With the all-purpose flour. Now I want a half cup. Okay. I was like, uh-oh, what am I doing? I couldn't tell you if it's better or not. I feel like a lot of their products don't, like, I think for the oatmeals, doesn't get as gooey. So, I do too. And maybe that's it. It's maybe the branding that I look at it and I go, this is the one I want. He just looks so happy. Where is it? Look, he's just kind of smug. He's like, sup, y'all? I'm going to take care of you with my wonderful oats. I've just been buying it. It's one of those definitely I just buy it. That's what I do. Well, let me know if you try it and you're like, no, this is just the same. So then I stop making a mistake. Salt, baking soda. I think the amount of baking soda is fine. 2 teaspoons and a half, so get a little less than that. Cool. Got all my dry ingredients. This time, correctly done. But I have increased the oat amount in this. What was I using before? For some reason it has chocolate all over it now. Wow. Good job, me. Keep reaching for a towel that's not where it... There. Put it back where it belongs. It's so nice, yeah, because you could just go in and be like, pinch, bam, done. Like for the longest time, yeah, I just had salt shakers, and I'm like, this, it kind of like, I get the feel of it, and I go, yeah, this is good. I feel so much happier. Especially for cooking. Put this here. Gotta take this and dry this off. Remember, I put the butter in the fridge. Okay, so 20 seconds. Take this back. Yeah, these aren't as good. So that's the set I take to work. Whoop. I don't know what's up with these. That's not the set I anticipated to screw up like it is. What did I do? What did I do, Kanji? I mean, that makes my life easier. I know just to do the melted one. So this is definitely that. It's spreading like I wouldn't have expected it to. Okay. That's still pretty warm. Okay, those are turning out real nice in terms of solidifying. These ones, who knows? I need to wait for that butter to kind of cool. Should throw it in the freezer. Okay. So yeah, for this set, definitely increased that. I can start cutting. I do think the bigger chunks of chocolate was a good call too. Just even with this, I could like see chunks in some spots. Some of them got the smaller pieces and it's kind of all throughout. These ones, because I cut them all so small, it's mostly like, it is nice. There's a lot more like of a chocolate flavor compared to like the chips usually. Kind of slowly try and keep my mess somewhat organized. An organized mess. Yeah, look at what the hell, Cookie. They've spread so much more. Well, I guess that doesn't count. Not happy with that. Melt the butter. You'll love yourself for it. Don't want to cut too thin again. Chop, chop, chop. Yeah. Okay. Cut some of these chunks are kind of giant. Something I've also seen some chocolate chip recipes do is they'll take the chips afterwards and then they go ding, ding, ding. They put them on before they bake. Oh, gotta remember, because the salt, the little extra salt on the top is definitely, I think, playing a nice role here. I bought so much chocolate today. I even have chocolate chips because I was like, just in case. But I think this set will be the last one. What I might also do with this last set is let the second set that's going to go in the fridge sit for 24 hours, and then I'll probably take pictures of it later. Oof, and show the end results. So that would be good. Cool. Room temperature butter. You've disappointed me today. Alright. Melted butter. Are you cool? Just put this on your popcorn. Jeez. Very good. I'm going to put it in here. But I'm going to let just let it sit still a little longer. What I probably could... It's probably been... No. Probably in like... Should've... I did not look at the time when I put that second set in the fridge. You know what? I'm not going for exact timesies. Just gonna see. I'm a little worried about this pan being smaller. Let's just transfer these to this pan. Kind of spread these out a little bit so they don't. They are going to increase in size. So yeah, they're just like a little harder because they sat in the fridge. Before they were pretty greasy. We'll see what difference that will make for these. They cooked perfectly, I think, at the 15 minutes with this set. You get another plate and then mark it. Just so I have a frame of reference later. Frame of reference. That is the room temp in fridge. You know, that note will make sense to me. Room temp to fridge. We're being scientific. With an empty plate. Now that these have kind of sat here a little bit, they've definitely... These ones are definitely Whoop. Definitely softer. I think flavor-wise it's not going to be that different from the other one. Alright, so I think the one so far, the first batch, there was an error with them too. It's probably the weakest one. These ones are a little better. But I still think it's missing, well, I think Jeff was right that this one has a little bit more of an oatmeal taste. Probably because the melted butter has that extra flavor, so then the oatmeal kind of hides in it. Which is why I think it needed it to be increased. But the chocolate's good. Delicious chocolate. Okay. So much chocolate. What could go wrong? Alright, I think that's at a good temperature. I'm gonna kind of let this spin without any sugar or anything. Just to kind of cool it down a little bit. What I'll do is I'll prepare my sugar in here real quick. Which that number I'm not changing at all. So I only want 8. Where did it go? Of course. It went into the sink and now it's wet. Where did any of my measuring things go? Ay, ay, ay. Me. Definitely has some now brown sugar in there. Half of that. Yeah, it's cooling it down some. I have to make sure I'm looking at the correct recipe. Like I said, I don't think those numbers changed. Fourth, it was 1/4, so I need half and then 1/8. Would be 2 tablespoons if I wanted to be more accurate. Yeah. Oh, close enough. Close enough. Up. Got too hot, Conj? Just kind of mix that a little bit. Cool. The smell of this butter is so good. Alright, so I'm putting my sugar in. And the vanilla extract. I already did my salt. I already did yeah. Gonna let that mix for a bit, and then I'm gonna add the egg in. Not gonna forget it this time. Let that mix for a little bit. Toss this pan's paper out. Where did... Don't need this anymore. Don't need this. Could go back here. Where'd it go? Oh. Of course. Into the sink is where it went. Because that is what I intended. I'm gonna kind of scrape down a little bit because I have some sugar. I do think it is an important step to make sure that your butter is at a cooler temperature. I'm gonna need that eventually. Get my egg. And same rules as always with the flour. Add my egg in. Let that do its thing. And now... once that's mixed in nicely, I will put half the flour mixture in. Seven minutes on that one still. Man, we're making... kind of smells like caramel. Half of flour mixture. Yeah, that's why the melted butter one was so much better. It has characteristics of a the caramel flavoring almost. Yeah, it just smells like caramel. Okay. Okay, so there's technically more flour. And oats. Nope, and a lot more flour. How much chocolate is too much chocolate? Jeff, we've learned that lesson. So I love chocolate, and I put probably more chocolate than I should in certain things. And I learned that with one of my recipes that I had to put 2 to 4 tablespoons of some things just because it was. But I've made a hot chocolate recipe before where there was too much chocolate in it. Like, it felt like I ate like 3 meals. I was like, oh boy. That's right. I'm not going to put it in the mixer anymore. Yep. So we're on 10 rolls. This time, you can see there's definitely a bit more oats in there. Because I doubled that. Just went straight in. Just said, we're going to increase this amount and we're going to run with it. Staying consistent. Consistent with putting things in the... I'll just eyeball it. Consistent with putting things into places they shouldn't be. Okay. Chocolate. Oops. Because there definitely was a moment when I was like chopping up the chocolate with this and I was like, that's going to be too much chocolate. And then after baking, I'm like, no, that's just right. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this set, because it is, yeah, I'm not going to be able to wait like the hour with this again. What I will do is actually do the 24-hour, or 24? Yeah, 24-hour test. So I'll put them in. It'll probably be more like 20. I will wrap them. And I will put the first batch in tonight. And we'll finish off with those at least. Kind of compare the oatmeal flavor for that. And then I will report back on probably Twitter. On Twitter or Discord or one of them and be like, well, this is what they look like. Okay. Same ridiculously large cookies. Man, and this is a half recipe and it's making 24 huge cookies then, is what the regular recipe would do. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think if you're making a batch of cookies and you get 24 of about this size, I think that's what people would... Is that what you would expect out of a recipe? You could, in theory, cut them in half, size-wise. It would just reduce the cooking time. And you would get probably 32 of them. Because I wouldn't go completely halved. Oh, these chunks are much larger. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. Alright. So by the time those cookies that are in there finish, this first batch will be ready to go in. And then we can kind of look at each of the ones that we currently have while we wait. Yeah, definitely a lot more oatmeal in these. Much larger chunks on the, so it definitely was a little less chop heavy with these ones. That'll be fine. Doo-doo. Keep doing that where I start rolling them up before I measure them. I'm going to try not overworking these. I probably am, either way. Oops. I'm going to have to make sure to sweep up the floor, especially with all this chocolate here. Because Kanji likes to be a shark later on. Is he even in the... Yeah, he's like barely in the shot, but he's there. He's there. Okay. Look at this timing. Oh, here's hoping. I didn't peek at all. Okay. Okay, these are a little more uniformed. With the fridge time. I'm just going to pop these in. Give them that 15-minute timer. I do think a nice scoop. These are probably about 2 tablespoons. Yeah. Alright, so now for this last set, I'm gonna set them on this baking tray. And I'm gonna wrap them up and let them see how they do in the fridge overnight. Now, of course, the result could be I take the ones that are in there baking right now out and go, ooh, that's too much. The oatmeal like mess the consistency up. Should be. Whoop. So this I don't have to worry about how spread out they are, because I'll probably transfer them to a bigger pan when I cook them tomorrow evening. I have not listened to like the Persona 5 soundtrack in a very long time. Should do that more often. Because music in that game is one of the best. In my opinion. Boop. I'm curious what the bigger chocolate chips are gonna do too. So, there's a lot of factors in this one. Oh, whoops, I took too much off. Whoop. Whoop. What the? At some point, it decided to... Okay, what the hell's going on? Because it was under there. That'll do it. It's like, that one looks so much bigger. That doesn't make any sense. My weight was like slowly sinking under the pan. So the pan was like lifting it up and causing issues. Okay. I guess I was more accurate with the bean at 50 this time around. Making sure everything was weighed a little better. Okay. Cool. So I have that. I'm gonna wrap those up. I was like, wait, what are those cookies? Those are the ones that were left. They were in the fridge for an hour only. Well, probably a little less than an hour. It's probably 45 minutes. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's okay. Just a spatula. And a cup, but we're okay. It's all good. Like, where are my wifey things? Gonna kind of give this a clean up. And kind of grab all the chocolate that's kind of on the ground. I'm pretty sure the amount of times that Kanji has gotten to any chocolate was once, and it was a long day, Kanji. So since I'm leaving these in longer, I'm gonna wrap them up in saran wrap, plastic wrap. Oop. Not the best, but it's done enough. You can kind of see they're wrapped, but they definitely have a lot more oats in it than the other one. Whoop. Careful, careful. just drop all the cookies. Another plate, another label. This is just so I know which ones are which. The end result is they will go somewhere and none will be the wiser. So these ones are the melted butter to the fridge. Did I did not salt these. Gotta be consistent with that. Oh, you know, I think I'll get a nice vanilla salt. Would probably go nicely on the top of that. Okay, now this one's going to be interesting. So I think it's sitting in there for an hour. Did it make too much of a difference between, like... Yeah, this is the one that just went straight into the oven. This is the one that went into the fridge for a little bit. They are a little more consistent because I did get one like this in that one, but most of these are kind of similar. And again, one of the big notes for sure is cutting the chocolate chips into bigger chunks is definitely a necessity. Because then you get these nice, like, chocolate lava pits is what I'll call them. Right. The real test. Before I try these, I'm going to wait for the last set to kind of compare those. Just right on here, more oats. Because at this point, we're going with melted butter. I know that was one of my big tests. The second test was the more oats. And I guess the fridge thing is another test that is being run right now. I think the biggest thing, from my understanding, the biggest thing the fridge does is it lets the flavors kind of sit a little longer before you cook them, so it should, in theory, make the flavor a bit stronger. I don't know if the hour is going to make the difference, but the 24 hours probably will. But I'll be able to see. Melted, more oats. Oven. My notes. All my notes. Which I'm hoping that works correctly. I think another test that would be worth doing, because I was adding bread flour into each of them. I didn't change that up much. Another test would be reducing the amount of bread flour and increasing the amount of all-purpose. I don't want to put cake flour in, because that has the least amount of gluten. So that would be the fluffier one. I'm not going for cakey cookies with this. They keep multiplying, Sam. This is what happens when you all cancel our Thursday night gaming. I make a bunch of cookies instead. It's all Badger's fault. Going pro. No, it's not. It totally isn't. I know. I have so many cookies. This is so bad. He better not be busy next week, because the Sea of Thieves update's coming out, and I really want to play that. So as of right now, I haven't tried the melted butter one that's set in the fridge. But the melted butter one into the oven, I like the best so far. The not melted butter one doesn't have the lovely extra flavor. And I must have really screwed up that one time with the melted butter, because that is super good. I don't know what I did. What did I do? You know what? I might have goofed it, because I have a brownie recipe that I do. And usually what I do with that brownie recipe is I melt my butter, and then I add the sugar and the sugar into the pan while it's melting. And I think that might have goofed it up. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been toying with ideas, because I know, like, I think Sunday it's one of those, like, oh, I can make a recipe. That'll be my cook along stream. So if people really wanted to, like, cook a recipe with me, the recipe's up and we can do it at the same time. The weekdays are definitely more chaotic, where I can't plan as well because I do work. So it's like, ooh, let me just make sure. After the end result, hell yeah, I could give this out probably. Depending on how they, yeah. So I'm hoping these ones. These last ones are good. Because I want more oatmeal. Because I went light on, like, all of these are lighter on the oatmeal. But I definitely think it could be increased. I do, on my site, I have an oatmeal raisin cookie recipe up. I think I did it for The Sims 4, because they have oatmeal raisin cookies in there. This base is different. Because, yeah, I opened the recipe up. Oatmeal raisin. Yeah, I do not melt the butter in that one. Because I think, did I use... Yeah, just raisins. I like them too. And when you look at the ingredients, people go... I remember, like, in high school and grade school even, where people were like, oh, oatmeal raisin cookies, those are the healthy ones. But then when you make them, you're like, oh, I don't know about that. That is very debatable. If they're actually healthy. Cookies being healthy is I don't know about that one. I know. Just gotta reduce that sugar. Ooh, yeah, no, I would. I'm curious about that. Please do. My bot gets angry. So, DM me the link. My bot's always angry. Doesn't like links. Bam. Yeah. Ooh. Ooh. This is not what I was expecting. Okay. Huh. That much increase in that made that much of a difference. Interesting. I only added... Ooh. Yes. What did I change? What did I do? I only added a fourth more of bread flour. But I did double the oats. Turn this off now, because we're done. We're done baking. These look the most different compared to the other ones. They are much like... They are definitely tighter and taller. I'm gonna let this cool before I start handling them. Don't want to burn my hands. Don't need that. We don't need that this evening. I'm excited about that. See, that looks more like a cookie that I expect. These also look good too. Nope, gotta let him sit. Just interesting to see how these change after they continue to cool. So that's the room temp straight to the oven. This is the room temp that was in the fridge for an hour. So just that hour in the fridge, there is a difference in terms of flavor. Not much, but there is. This one has a nicer chocolate finish to it. But again, that one over there goofed a little. Actually, just that got goofed a little. Now, yeah, adding that into the fridge made a decent difference. Actually, hey Jeff, you want to come talk cookies for a moment? Just so I could see if I'm crazy. For a week. I know a lot of the recipes I've seen, usually with like the chocolate chips are like, keep it in the fridge for up to 2 days. And I'm like, okay, so up to 2 days is kind of the range. A week. Ooh. Curious what that would do. I wonder why for that length. But there definitely is a difference. It's minor, but there is a difference here. We're going to just kind of pick at cookies. Look at how different those look. That one's pretty different. This last one's different. Where I've increased the oats by double. And I added a little more bread flour. So this is the one that sat in there for an hour. And this is the original. This is the one that just went straight into the oven. Which you said was the weaker one. But I do agree that the oatmeal... Oh. I would definitely be like, okay, a week? That seems a little weird. But I mean, it's in the refrigerator, so it is a little safe. There's not much like... Shaking your head? Can you tell the difference between these at all? No, I agree. These are the weaker of the cookies. These are the ones that are going to work. Sam said you have to eat all the cookies at once. The ones from the oven are better? You're fine. You're allowed your opinion. Ooh, yeah, these are now set. These are still pretty warm. Now, this is the one that has less flour, like not by much. There's only a 1/4 cup more of flour, but double the oats. See the difference that made between the two of these? Okay, so you like the ones that are straight to the oven. Okay. So now they're kind of the same. It's not by much. So well, that's the thing. We're going to put these away. These are the losers. Those are the work cookies. We'll bring some and then... The bread flour was a thing I noticed. Don't do all bread flour. You want to do a ratio. Like you could probably do half and half. Or I did half and half for the first one. The second one has a little... And that could have been... a little more bread flour, so kept it tighter. No, we're gonna try these ones now. Cause this, you put your plate over there. I think the VOD will say otherwise. So this is the one that we first had.
Yeah.
This is the one that's set in the fridge for an hour, but the same recipe.
Okay.
So we could try. This has nice cookie structure. No, I think that extra, like, because these have been sitting for a bit. This one's not going to do that same because it's not completely. The flavor of that one's so much better. Let me try the. I don't know if the hour made a difference. Yeah. If you use all bread flour, you're basically going to make bread. Right?
I think it's local. It has more like a caramel taste.
Okay, so it did make a difference. So if we probably let it sit for... Yeah, I could agree with that. Now these next ones will probably... Okay, so the one that's set in the fridge is better.
Yeah.
Okay. I keep telling myself I should make more bread. No, well, but then I get lazy. No. 2 months ago, I tried making it bread, and I was like, okay, I'll let this out longer than, okay, I'll let it out overnight. The next day, I took the bread, I'm like, this smells like beer. And I'm like, uh-oh. I still cooked it, and it was fine tasting, but it was alcohol-y tasting. I was like, eh. So these are much softer, and because the
These from
from
frozen.
the frozen. Oh yeah, these are all homemade from scratch right now. Yeah, they are very warm still. I just saw your other comment. You said you use 4 cups, or so yeah. For this second set, I definitely used a higher. This has a better consistency, I think.
They taste really tasty.
Yeah, I use
More
a
the oatmeal flavor.
because I put more oatmeal in it. Oh, these are very. I think this might be the one. How long do you freeze them in for? That's what I'm surprised with these, because I didn't put these into like the fridge or anything. This is melted butter, but it has such. These are beautiful. This is the winner. I'm sitting here like, this is so good. It is, but that's why I'm going to be sharing. Yes, so these, I melted the butter for all of these. Actually, all these ones that are sitting up here are all melted butter. There's no chocolate on. Oh, there's one piece of chocolate on the ground. So these 3 up here are all brown buttered, which are very good. I am very surprised by the end result of it, and it's so good. Yeah, K to the low. I'm gonna call you K. My life a little easier. How long do you store yours in the freezer usually? These are good. Okay. Now, do you find there's like a difference between the ones that you had just sit for a day, or for like compared to like a month, or is the end result still the same because it's frozen? I'm also assuming since you freeze them, they go straight into the oven, and I'd imagine the cook time's a little different from fresh dough. I was considering putting, maybe I'll grab a few, 3 of the ones that I have sitting in the fridge overnight, and I'll put them in the freezer. I'll do that. Okay, you have inspired me. Did you take the rest of that Did I have half a cookie? These reject cookies back here were room temperature butter, but it's a little cookie. No, he's a silly corgi. I'm gonna grab these back out from the fridge. I'm gonna put a handful of these in the freezer because I like that suggestion. Just testing. I'll leave those overnight. I'll see the difference. So these will go back into the fridge. These 3 will go into... Yeah, he's a little corgi. Well, he's actually a pretty long corgi. He had a long day. He's a good doggo. And I appreciate that he's learned with the cooking streams to sit and enjoy himself and kind of relax with no fuss. Just put his bed there and he's fine. Okay. These are my freezer cookies. Yay, more experiments. Camera's kind of blocking the freezer, so I'll put that in later. So these first ones, easily. The brown butter is the way to go. Yeah, he's smart because he could watch me in here, and while I'm in the kitchen, because he knows I'm not going to leave the kitchen. I'm going to stay in here. I'm going to be cooking. And then my husband Jeff's over there in the other room, so he's able to watch the both of us. And he just sits there, just like watching me cook. He enjoys it. But the more oats. Yep. This is more like a general chocolate chip cookie. Not a lot of oats flavor because the brown butter kind of overpowers it a little bit. But this one with the doubled oats, I think, ties it all together. I didn't put salt on. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. Ta-da! Split open. Split one in. Oh, can I split it in front? I can read. Yeah, I could do that. So let me turn on the focus to work correctly because I usually turn that off because it does some funky stuff. So give me one moment. You capture device, configure video. Let's do that autofocus on here. I'm gonna make sure it's kind of doing it. You're gonna be rude. Cool. Alright, looks like it's focusing. So I will take this one. Here is a bunch of chocolate in my hand. So I'm gonna split that open. Nice and melty. Lighting's being rude. Turn it this way. Turn it that way. Are you focusing at all? Camera, please. So I do think because this is the first time I decided to use the bar chocolate and chop it. world of a difference. Because the chocolate is just kind of like everywhere compared to chocolate chips. So I think I'm excited. Yes. I'm gonna turn that focus back off. Yeah, I'm really coming down to Texas. You're gonna come on and get some. I mean, there's so much right now. Oh, I'm happy with this. I'm happy I decided to up that amount and everything. So I turned it all together. And Kay, thank you for the I'm gonna test the frozen ones tomorrow morning or tomorrow evening. Not on stream. But I'll probably post it on Twitter and stuff to see what those results are compared to the one in the fridge. So I have one set in the fridge, set in the freezer. Be able to test all that. So yeah, I'm going to probably wrap up because it's getting to be that do the melted butter, and it's not just melting it. You want to make sure that the butter browns because it kind of gives it a nice caramelly flavor to it on top of everything else. I was not a believer in it before, but my goodness, I did it today. And I'm a believer. And very good. Mm-hmm. Yes. Just, throwing on a little sea salt and stuff. And because that savoriness that gets added to the sweet here. Beautiful. Thank goodness I could take these to work and not have a million cookies with me. But I definitely will be taking some up with me to Dallas when we go. Yeah. I'm going to wrap up. And I want to say thank you all for stopping by, watching. If you enjoyed the stream and you're not following, hit that follow button. I do both games and cooking streams. If you want more recipes from me, down below is my website. I run a website called Pixelated Provisions, where I recreate food found in video games. I make them for the real world. I've also am the author behind the Fallout Cookbook, so that's my host spiel. That's me. So thank you so much. Y'all have a wonderful evening. I'm going to make a mistake with these cookies, probably. Let me see who's streaming right now that I could shuffle y'all to. I'm going to assume. Yeah. She's wrapping up. I don't know how much longer Brock's going to be going for. So I'm going to transfer y'all to my friend Brock, who's currently streaming Apex. He's doing some pro game stuff right now. Cheer him on because he's had a bit of a rough week with it. It's been a little slow start for them. So yeah, again, thank you. Got my boy sleeping here, Kanji. I had a lot of fun. Good night.